Hello everyone, I'm Max, I'm an engineer on Team Stonehearth, and today we will be talking about Stonehearth. Oh, wow, that was quick. Okay, let me increase the hunt level. It's probably a 0.5. Double audio, I'll get on it. Okay, how about now? Is there still double audio? If strange.
Hello.
What's up?
Mute that right there. And then ask if people can still hear
Test
you.
1, 2, 3. Can you still hear me? The delay is making this slow, but yep, cool.
All right.
Thanks,
Yeah, we got
Maui.
this.
Okay, so, why does it work? Yeah, we don't know. It works, don't question it, is my attitude towards things that I do like a couple times a month. Anyway, so today, as you guys might have noticed, we have released Alpha 24 Plus to the stable Steam branch. And if you read the whole announcement, you will notice that Alpha 24 Plus is the last alpha we'll release. Everything from now on is going to be Stonehearth Beta. So, I'm here to answer any questions you might have about the features that are included in Alpha 24 Plus, and 24 Plus stands for 24, 5, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, I think. Anyway, all of those alphas that are now available on the stable branch. And let's start with questions. Is the next beta going to be Beta 25 or Beta 1? It is going to be Beta 1. We were running out of numbers. Let's see. And if we run out of things to talk about on the topic of betas and alphas and whatnot, I will be fixing random little bugs that have been on my list but never got to the top of it. Sulfite says, numbers do go on for a while, but the big numbers don't feel right. They're not as fluffy as small numbers, so we want to stay small for a while. Stega Rootbeer says, I don't think that's how numbers work. Well, version numbers are special numbers. You gotta treat them differently. You can't just say, oh, they're just integers, or oh, they're just floating points, or they're just real numbers, because, they work differently. Megashab was asking, how long does the team think the beta phase will last? We can't tell yet. Probably not as long as the alpha. That's as much as we can say at this point. Okay. And as Celestra, who is Stephanie, our glorious leader, says, until the game is more stable. So now we do focus on performance and stability. So with all the features that we've added recently and in 2017, we've accumulated a bunch of tech debt in terms of bugs, in terms of performance. And now before we exit early access, we need to fix those. And that's what we're working on mainly now. However, there is also work in the background on various new content. We've talked about the rabbits, the bunny campaign, we've talked about the Titan, and we've talked about, there was something other that maybe Stephanie will remember, there's a bunch of features that are still in progress. Oh yeah, some version of Northern Alliance is being worked on. We don't know how complete it's gonna be, but some work has been going on that, and there's some side projects for many of us on the team that we aren't yet sure if we're going to include in the game or not. But that's roughly where we are right now. Stega Rootbeer says clearly they are big integers. Not quite, because like 24.10.1 is not a big integer. It's like it's got 3 pieces in it, so it's like more like IP addresses, I guess. Anyway, Stega Rootbeer also asks, is there a way to get the wet and dry stones yet? Right now, not through in-game means. You can get them from the debug tools, but we are still working on how exactly we deliver them to you, like in-game with actual quests or other sources. The Sulfide says, can you detail the side projects? No, not really. I mean, one of them we did show off a while ago with, if you remember, Ali did a stream on whale skeletons, so landmarks that are generated in during terrain generation, like in the different biomes. And that's most of the work on that was done by Mali, and we have a bunch of these landmarks lined up, and we're working on getting them integrated. But we don't know whether they'll make it to the main game. Probably yes, because they're pretty much done, but just some work still remains, and they're not like a scheduled feature that we as a team decided that we really want this. It was just something that Mali was inspired to do on his own, and some of us helped him out, and eventually it will make it out to you in some form. Will then released ones come out as mods? Yes, that is an exit path that we have been considering. If some of the stuff that we are working on as side projects don't make it into the game, we can release them as mods. This has already happened, for example, with Albert's floating physics mod, and with Morgan's and Anna's Silent Grove biome. So what number will the beta end so we can start with Charlie? We can't really tell yet. The beta numbers are probably not going to be very meaningful, because our focus is on polish and not on features, so the milestones will not be as significant as the alphas. Most alphas we've worked on have been centered around a specific feature. That is probably not going to be the case with betas. So there will be... We haven't decided how we're going to even number them yet, whether it's going to be like beta 1, 2, 3, 70 to 130, or it's going to be beta 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So that's all up in the air. Okay, let's see. Will you redo the Ogo Skull Buckner? I don't think that's the right name, but I get who you mean. The campaign of the Goblin War Chief. No, there are no plans to change it. I do think that, again, as a side project, I've been thinking about getting those campaigns and in general combat to be less game ending. So basically, if goblins come to your city and defeat everyone, right now they will just stay there forever, and they will... Basically, your game is done. It's a game over without a game over screen. But we're considering changing that so that if they defeat everyone, maybe they'll leave, or they might leave if you have just 1 or 2 Hearthlings remaining that are still not incapacitated. So that might be the only change that we will do. Charlie comes after Bravo, not Beta. That is correct. We are using the Greek alphabet, not the phonetic alphabet. Sky Whales. Yep, Sky Whales are awesome. Moai says, Max, what kind of town would you personally want to build in Stonehearth when it is complete? You might have seen my Emerald Overlook town, which is a town carved into the mountains of the canyon biome. It's partly inspired by Petra, where I've been many times. I live there, like near Petra, so I know it pretty well. So one of the really cool ideas that I've had, but I've never really had the time to make it, is a town within a cavern. So it would still be like a town on top of sort of a cliff, but the whole cliff is within a cavern. So that is a lot of work, but I have some like inspirational images of this kind of town stored somewhere on my machine, and one day I will build it, but who knows. Geester, probably after this marathon programming feat, all the gang will become farmers. I am actually considering something like that. And move to Montana. I will be passing by Montana. Geester, watching too much Chef's Table. Yeah, that can tempt you into interesting career choices. Honestly, never seen it. It's okay. I thought it was a little bit too pretentious, but there's a lot of pretty food. Max casually dropping that he's been to Petra. I lived in Jordan for 10 years, so that's not a big jump. Moai says, I've experimented with cavern towns. I managed to build a single building inside a dugout cave, but was back in the old builder days. Yeah, old builder, may the rabbit rest its soul, is gone now. The new one should be better at finishing things. Lost X Brave says, you guys are awesome. I love your game. Thank you. I hope you continue supporting us. Okay, so caught up on chats. Let's see. Bug fixing. So one tiny fix that, or it's kind of somewhere between a fix and a feature that I have, is desert audio. So our audio guy Aaron has made some cool new ambient audio for the desert biome. However, currently the desert biome uses the same ambient audio as temperate. So one way to fix it is to add a variation of the sunny weather to the desert biome that uses this different audio track, which is something I will do right now once I catch up on chat again. Okay, desert audio setup. Okay, Old Builder's Ghost may still be somewhere in the code. Yeah, I don't think we actually deleted all of that code. It's just disabled. So if someone wants to have like a classic builder mod, they can probably do that. Why they would do it, I don't know, but you know, nostalgia can be a hell of a drug. Long time no see. Yeah, hello, Michael Handy. JP Code Dev, Stonehearth, could we have full co-op multiplayer, like sharing resources, people in workshop, 2 players but 1 campaign? We've experimented with that. I don't think we... Well, to answer your question right away, no, it won't be in the main game. However, the current setup with the separate towns allows you to lend heartlinks to each other, send trades, share a lot of those things. And if you start your 2 towns around the same place, you can basically work as if you were the same town. You do not share resources directly. I think it would be possible to mod that in, but that would be a pretty major undertaking. And the reason we are not doing it is we actually had the original version of multiplayer that we tried was like that, and it was very confusing because it was very easy to give conflicting orders, and people would be, and because heartlings are not controlled directly, it just caused a lot of confusion and a lot of frustration when even unintentionally someone would give a different order than the player that they're playing with, and people would be annoyed because, oh, I asked them to build, but you're asking them to mine, etc. So we ended up in the current setup. Lost Six Spray, for sure I'm going to get a bunch of my friends to buy it too. You guys deserve it. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Michael Handy, yeah, been busy for a while. You can share people. Yeah, you can lend people to other players. Would you guys ever consider sponsored mods, ones that you think are the best and really add to the game? That would be a question for Celestra. I don't think right now we are thinking about it. we have considered it in the past, but for various reasons we never went with it. Let's see. Easter, some people are pretty broke up about losing the old builder. Yeah, well, we'll see what exactly it is that they're missing. Our concern mainly is if there are actual tools or ways to build that the old builder allowed people to do that the new one doesn't. That's something that we hope to fix. But the old builder was built on a core that we over time have learned wasn't sufficient to power all of the builds that people can come up with. So there's no going back there. Michael Handy, I'm liking the new builder after I had to relearn it. Yeah, it's a pretty drastic change, but once you get the hang of it, it's really powerful, I think. Celestra says, you basically have to be best friends and sidekick to make two people one town work. Yep. Dracula Jr. says, hi Max, I totally would like some kind of multiplayer as well, something like co-op that you can support each other and trade, and everyone has their own town and such. Yes, that is available, and it's, as of today, it is available on the main stable branch. Okay, Celestra, even so there were some near fist fights. Yeah, I think, Stephanie, you tested that two people, one town thing for a while we were experimenting with it. I don't think I ever actually tested it myself. I was mostly like overseeing. So who in the dev team would be the most likely to be kicked from a team-wide game? Albert? I still maintain that that was not a false accusation. I saw him steal your crafting workbench. I don't have proof, but I'm a witness. Celestra, the real person deleting all the workshops was Richard. Yeah, I did not see Richard. I saw Albert. But that investigation I will leave up to you. You can no longer delete other people's stuff. Yep, that's, I think, a pretty good change. Michael Hand, you still think even new builder, the heart should always build from ground up, a floor, the first floor wall, then on the first floor and second floor, then second floor walls, and lastly roof. The exact order of building often ends up being that for more simple buildings, I believe. For more complex ones, the plans are calculated using some magic that Chris wrote up, so you'll have to wait for his stream to ask him how exactly that works. I have an overall idea, but I don't want to give false info because I don't know it for sure. Dracula General, it really is. I have to try it for sure. You guys clearly did a great job on the current patch. Does it mean that the next version would be a beta? Yes, the next version is gonna be beta 1. Okay, stairs, Albert accusations, Dracula Jr., yep. Oh, Stephanie has the videos. Interesting. The plot thickens. Pick up that some of us like to watch the world burn. Yeah, but ideally it's not someone else's world. Dracula Jr., that's amazing, and Stonehearth is really a great game. I love that devs are working hard on it to make it a success, and don't drop it like many other devs did with their early access games. I mean, eventually it's gonna end. We won't be able to support it forever, but we're doing the best we can with the time we have. Michael Handy, the last build, Chris relaxed the building order so that more building would build. Yeah, I think that's happened several times. We started out very strict and then relaxed a couple times. Dracula Jr., I love that you guys care about the game and the players and not just about the money. Yeah, I'm glad to. Moi, Max, out of curiosity, how come you know Russian? I was born in Ukraine and spent my childhood there, so I know Russian and Ukrainian. JB Code Dev, any update on mod documentation? Yes. So there is a work in progress modding guide that we posted a while ago, and it's actually linked in the announcement that we posted earlier today of Alpha 24 Plus. That's still very early on. However, Anna will be working on that once we are. I don't want to say we're done with bug fixing, but once we've cleared the mountains of bugs that we have on our plates right now, we are. Anna, who is Relis on the forum, who was our QA analyst, she'll be working on getting that expanded to include more info. And I know some of the some modders actually have created guides for various parts. I think there is some guides for specific QB editing software. There are some generic guides. I haven't had time to look through them, but it's something to look into. Michael Handy, Stonehearth, so about items and voxel blending. I was always able to get fences and other items to blend in with voxels, but now voxels kick out items, a fence pops to side or on top of voxels. Yeah, I can't tell exactly what you mean. If you post a screenshot on Discourse, I can forward that to Chris, who is in charge of all things building. Don't let it end. Yeah, well, all good things must come to an end eventually. Let's see, I'm part Ukrainian too. I visited Kiev in 2015. 2015 was not a great time in Kiev, but yeah, well, good to know. Done, I'll find you some more job security. Yeah, bugs tend to be to multiply, and when you fix one, two more somehow appear out of the ether. Stonehearth, let fences of all kinds blend with voxel and maybe lights. I think Chris was looking into a fence tool, and actually the last stream with Mally, he showed a bunch of new fence models that would allow more precise placing of fences. I'm not sure what you mean by blend with voxels and maybe lights. Do you mean graphically, or do you mean like attached to? Either way. Any ETA on fence tool in the new builder? I don't have an ETA. I know that at least some work has been done on it. I don't know how much. Stonehearth, would you like to show off the new builder on stream? I'm probably not the best person to show off the new builder, but there have been several streams. In fact, if you go on Twitch, chances are someone just like non-devs are streaming some new builder stuff. But also there have been a few streams recently. One that I can think of is Stephanie's stream to get a pretty screenshot included custom building with the new builder. Sir Man Guy, never forget as a developer you're a detective in a great murder mystery. Sadly, you're also the murderer. That's well said, man. It's yeah, and sometimes it's you find a bug and you're like, oh, past me, you were so naive to think this would work. But we live and learn. Celestra, where does your name come from? Apparently she made it up. Lost Brave, we will be getting any more classes for the Hearths, and when Stonehearth ends, will you guys work on another title? More classes? There aren't any planned in our official timeline. I have been working on the Geomancer as a side project. It's too early to say anything, but it's something that might end up being in the main game, or if it doesn't make it and doesn't cut the quality level that we want, I'll release it as a mod. Will you guys be working on another title? Way too early to talk about that. Michael Handy, Stonehearth, it means placing a fence and then voxels next to it to connect to it. Oh yes, I think that's something that Chris and Mally are aware about, where like if you place a fence, usually there's like a half voxel gap. Yeah, I think that's something that we could fix. I can't promise anything right now because I know work on new features for the builder was winding down, but I know some work on the fence tool has been done, and the fence posts and smaller fence pieces that Mally demonstrated in the last stream were there for that reason, so that you could fill things completely without leaving gaps. You mean like connected textures but with voxels? I think it's just like actual gaps because the sizing of the fences doesn't match voxel sizes. Ninjas and politicians or Riot. I mean, we are Riot. I mean, it says somewhere on the short, right here. Whoop. Riot Games. So please Riot. Radiant Mal. Yep, that's one of the things that the models I did last stream could help with. Yes, exactly. Celestra, Chris and I talked about the fence tool, and right now it's in queue behind some performance improvements. Yes, performance is a big focus for us right now. We've already shipped some improvements, mostly for the server, for like restocking and reducing idleness and supporting larger towns, and for multiplayer. We're currently continuing to work on that, and at the same time, we want to improve client-side performance. So some graphics stuff and some like that data marshalling and passing around the different systems. There is a patch that I'm almost done with that greatly reduces hitches that you see on towns with a lot of items, just like visual, like when you move the camera, sometimes you'll drop a frame or two. So I have that mostly fixed, but it didn't make it into the stable release, unfortunately. It will be in one of the unstable releases coming soon, which will be the beta. Okay, I think... how many materials, creatures, enemies, and friendlies will end up being in a game? I don't think we track numbers that way at all. It's just whatever we think is necessary for a given feature to feel complete or at least interesting enough. Where is the Magma Smith? I want to make fire armor. We've been thinking about Magma Smith in the past, and we haven't been able to find an identity for him that would really set them apart from just being a blacksmith. And one option we considered was like, oh, maybe it's a specialization of a blacksmith where like if you upgrade your blacksmith to a magma smith, they get a bunch of like fire weapons and whatnot. But that felt like it would be tacked on and not really part of the full class system that we have right now, so we decided against that. Was Dwarf Fortress the inspiration for the game, or was it something else? It was in part, and I think Tom said, I'm too dumb to play Dwarf Fortress, so let's make this game instead, says Celestra. Yep. In hindsight, it might have been faster to learn all those random shortcut keys. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, I know it was part of the inspiration. I know old RPG games like Final Fantasy Tactics was part of the inspiration behind sort of the spirit and the art style. But in the end, what Division evolved into, I think, is a very different game from Dwarf Fortress. It has some similarities, but the focus is less on simulating ridiculous disasters and like systems interacting with each other in unexpected ways, and more about building interesting cities, having maintaining your hearthlings, cooperative multiplayer, being able to share a world with other people and build things together. That was my thought when I bought the game, actually. Yeah, learning Dwarf Fortress is not easy. I have not been able to do that, so I'm not sure whether your choice was correct. Stonehearth, will there be any more on water? More work on water? I don't think we are planning any major water features. There might be some tiny tweaks, like maybe rain will replenish water, maybe, and this is a very far maybe, some water relationship to farming, probably not, but it's something that, like, if we really run out of things to do, we could look into. It is a very fertile ground for modders if they want to take water and do things with it. The only thing that I do know that we will be changing or adding is in-game ways to get whetstones and dry stones, because right now you only get them using the cheats or the debug console. Hey guys, hey Bruno. Any plan to handle rotten stuff better, trash can or pit? Not specific plans, but it has been annoying many of us for a long time, so maybe when someone is sufficiently frustrated by it, they'll add some little feature to handle it, but not current concrete plans. Geezer, DF isn't that hard, you just need Stone Sense and Dwarf Therapist. I assume those are mods. Yeah, I have not tried those. Michael Handy says, second picture down is what I mean about fences, I assume. Yes, I think I see. See what you mean. Like here, there are gaps. Yeah, that's basically what Mally was trying to fix with those smaller pieces. Is it possible at some point to create our own enemies, friendlies, NPCs as well? Of course, half of them are companion cubes. I'm not sure what that refers to, but to Dracula's question, well, currently mods can do a lot of that. You can create enemies, NPCs, campaigns, dialogues, whatever, anything that you see in the game you can create via mod. Bruno Supreme, are we at stable version now? Yes. Stable Alpha 24 is unstable. You can mod them in. Yep. Is modded game working as good as a non-modded game in multiplayer? Kind of. I mean, mods. The more mods you add, the higher the chance that some of them conflict or one of them has a bug or whatever. But in general, multiplayer has very native support for mods. When you connect to any multiplayer server, you will be given a prompt to automatically download and subscribe to mods that the server uses. And that's all pretty straightforward. You just click OK, and all the mods are loaded into your game, and you can join the server with all those mods. Bruno Supremo, nice, time to update everything to it then. Yep, lots of mods to update. Miner didn't need any updates other than the whole compressed model thing. Yeah, the compressed model thing had some unexpected fallout, meaning that some outfits and whatnot needed to be re-exported, but it does improve loading performance, so it's something that we decided to go through with despite those slight requirements. Will Riot fund a big marketing campaign when you leave early access? Celestra says no, and she's certainly the best person to ask about that. Gortris, hello Gortris. Michael Handy, I know water will be used for farming, at least that was the plan. We have had lots of conflicting plans, but we've sort of solidified now, and water being used for farming is a bit of a stretch right now. It's certainly not hard to mod that in, but we haven't really designed that system, and we don't have current scheduled plans to do that. Coaster's Paul, wow, I forgot all about the stream tonight. I feel bad. Don't feel bad. You missed only half of it. There's still half of it remaining, and also there is a recording. And welcome. Add whales. Narwhales. I don't think we're gonna add narwhals unless somehow someone convinces Ali to do that, but we do have plans to add whale skeletons someday as landmarks in the desert biome. Michael Hand, an engineer was supposed to build pumps and so on. Yeah, I'm afraid that is not the current plan. It could be a mod, but I don't think the main game right now has plans for that. Coaster's Paul, fertile ground. Yep, that's what using water for farming would connect to. Dracula, one thing I really love as well is they are actually working on the game, not dozens of DLCs and such like other games. I hope you guys continue like that to make the game great and finish it before releasing any DLCs and such. We have absolutely no plans for any DLCs. Why not use your Geomancer to make whetstone and dry stones? Okay, you guessed it. The Geomancer, among other things, does craft whetstones and dry stones in my current experimental branch. Lady Bella, hello Lady Bella. Pick of Death, we can have bugs attack you to eat the rotten food. It's funny you mentioned that. We do have bugs attack you as part of some other content that hasn't been released yet, but that's actually a pretty cool idea. We can have a very simple campaign that just has like, oh, when you have rotten foods, bugs will come and eat it. Yeah, cool, thanks for the idea. Please, those gaps are a pain, I assume, in the fences. Yep, we are aware of that. Michael Handy, also before I forget, can we get in Builder for when placing items, a search button, type in the name and take us to it? It would be useful when you have mods with the item added and the non-modded game and not having to scroll through a bunch of items. Yes, in fact, it didn't make it into the stable release, but I know Justin was working on just that feature recently. It will probably end up in one of the betas. Moai, I'm really curious about water being used for defense, drowning mechanics. It does seem pretty easy to mod that in, but because of how easy it seems, I thought you guys would just kind of throw that in, but it definitely sounds like you'll have your hands full. Yes, we certainly do have our hands full, and drowning in particular has some weird edge cases, and like if you're trying to build something from the bottom of a lake, that would make it impossible, or your hearthlings would drown, and then like if your hearthlings drown underwater, we'll need to give the players some sort of agency to prevent that. So maybe you need to craft like potions that give you water breathing, or you craft masks that can be equipped to allow you to dive, and it sort of like grows from there for it to be a full feature that works with everything else. It kind of bubbles up, and that's why we haven't really tried to do that. Lady Bella, is there a reason why my villagers quit working on their queue? All my people are max and they mostly quit working. It's hard to tell in general. If you post a save on Discourse, we can look into it and look into your particular case. Bruno Supreme, by the way, I felt a way better performance this version. I loaded Old Town 32 Citizen, it was less laggy than usual. Hooray! I've worked pretty hard on performance recently, so it's nice to see that's paying off. Kimlar, welcome Kimlar. Wait, does that mean we're up to Alpha 29? I gotta play again. Well, we call it Alpha 24 Plus, but it is the last Alpha. So, yeah, enjoy. Hope you do get to play it again. JP Code Dev, Bruno Supremo, any plans to have Fisherman class standalone mod? That would be a Bruno Supremo question, which is why it's addressed to Bruno Supremo. Geister Woo, Max Geomancer hint. Yep. I try not to drop too many, but since that was like such an exact guess, I figured might as well confirm that. No DLCs is also great. Some just break the game and devs focus isn't on bugs anymore. Yeah, that can happen. It really doesn't change anything having it the Fisherman class with the biome. Actually, it has less things, no crabs, no pearls, but I added 2 more foods to it and the fire pit to cook those. And it's easier to maintain in a single package. Yep, I guess that's how it's gonna be with the Fisherman and the Archipelago biome. Archipelago biome is really cool. It's I was really impressed by how polished it is. Like even the world generation loading screen has like a pirate themed background. It's so neat. JP Code Dev, I would love to have it in the forest biome with the river. Yeah, as Bruno says, it's not limited to biomes, it's just the same mod. Dracula General, a feature like in Dungeon Keeper 2 would be great, being able to use a spell to get into first-person view of Hearthlings and being able to work as that one to see the world from different view. That could definitely be modded. All the camera controls are in Lua and they're very straightforward, so that could be modded. It's not something we plan to do. We had like a small experiment where we did like a VR thing with playing as a Heartling, but that was like completely side project for like a hackathon, not planned for the main game in any way. Scuba suits confirmed. I just denied being able to get scuba suits. That's like the exact opposite. One of my favorite features of Frost Feast was that the modded stuff had different backgrounds. It'd be nice if you could specify background color for your mod and the crafting UI. That's probably not a lot of work, and but you could. I mean, it's unclear whether that's desired always. Some mods want to sort of integrate seamlessly into the game, and some mods want to stand out. So right now you can still color the background of your things with whatever you want. I mean, it's the images that are in the mod. And I've seen a bunch of mods that have sort of like a little watermark or like signature thing next to the icons, which is kind of cute. Kimlar's already up, multi-monitor for the win. Bruno Supremo Max will never catch up with the chat. I'm getting close. This creates a good flow at least. I'm not sure what that's referring to. I kind of lost the stream there. But I gotta run. Good night all. Good night, Mally. Lady Bella, if I can't figure out how to get my game save and all my errors, I will try to send them. So many errors. Sorry about that. So it's possible that's because that save is from an earlier unstable version of the alpha, because we have broken a bunch of things between unstable versions of alphas, as we usually do, but any save from a previous stable release will work on all future releases. Michael Hand is still working on Tridel, finish the tavern, still a pain to get through. Let's take a look at that. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Nice, nice. Oh, it's an open tavern. That's cool. I like it a lot. Good job, man. Let's see. Good night, Mally. Yep. Stonehearth will season come together. Weather is lumped in month, winter, spring, summer. Yeah, it's another one of those side projects that might make it into the game, might not, might end up being released as a mod. But yes, at least a very simple version of that is something that we hope to get. So it can be modded, being able to work as a Hearthling. That would be badass. Or imagine playing with friends, each with their own jobs to play together. Yes, it can be modded, but that would require a lot of work. So it's not like, oh, someone has a couple hours, they'll go and make that mod. The camera controls are probably a couple hours of work. So like, you can switch to the view of a Hearthling. That's not a lot of work. Being able to control them, that would take a lot more. It would involve basically having an AI action that is sort of fake, in the sense that it doesn't do any AI, just listens to events that to your controls, and when you press a button or something, a signal gets sent to the server to poke that AI action and make the character go further. It's not the greatest fit for the game as it is now, but it's definitely possible. Hi everyone, hi Eldred. Pick of Death. Some saves will not work after an update, so say goodbye to that world. In general, we do not break, or try not to break, save compatibility between major releases. So like if you have a save on stable Alpha 23, it should load fine on the current stable. But if you saved somewhere during unstable, some of that may be broken. How totally impossible is it to give enemy encampment workers minimal autonomy? Have 2 workers, 1 cutting wood and 1 building a building. Not impossible at all. Enemies have the exact same AI system as your Hearthlings, and you can totally give them whatever AI you want and send them orders and whatnot. Rune Suprema, yes, the new builder helped a lot with open room designs. Can we get a road paint? The red brick and white brick. Also, do you all plan on adding more variation to road, or is it just those two? I don't think we have plans to add more variations to roads, but those are extremely easy to mod in. It's like literally edit one file. Lady Bella, can someone tell me how do I get feathers? Because I have 5 chickens and no one is killing them. Help, I need feathers. I don't quite remember how to get feathers. Possibly buy them from the farmer merchant, or I think chickens are harvested just for eggs and for, if you kill them, chicken meat. But I'd need to check that. Yes, sir, I just block a base color for my roads and then run the paint tool quickly over with another color. Yeah, the paint tool allows you to do any sort of custom design you want, but it can be time consuming. Let's see, are you guys gonna make some kind of Twitch integration, like Hearthlings having the names of your viewers being able to vote for events and such, or also just through modding? It is in theory possible through modding, maybe, probably not easily, not without crazy stuff like the kind of things that Repeat Pan does, but no, we don't have any plans for that. You can always go and edit your Hearthlings names manually to the names of your viewers. In fact, I've seen a lot of streamers do that. Lady Bella, well, I can't figure out how to kill them in the first place. If you have pastured chickens and you have a shepherd, you should be able to select the chicken and there should be a slaughter icon at the bottom left, or maybe a harvest icon or something. Dwarf tribe, not currently planned, easy to mod in. Northern Alliance is kind of dwarf. Northern Alliance is Nordic inspired in some ways, but it's not really as straightforward as, oh, is it Nordic? Yes, then it's Northern Alliance. And neither are dwarves, honestly, especially nowadays with the way fantasy has branched out into a million different subgenres. There's a million different definitions of what a dwarf is. They don't want to kill the chicken. Well, they have compassion for the poor critter. But yeah, if you have a shepherd, they should be able to do that. Another question. I know you already did some of the doors, but could you implement the old doors back in as a variation? I'm not sure about if we have specific assets that we removed. I don't think we did. I might be wrong. Next time Mally streams, or you can just send Mally a message on Discord. He would be the person who knows about art assets being added or removed, and our reasons for those, and whether we might consider adding them back in. Yes, if you slaughter chickens, it can drop feathers. Yep, there you go. This will feed. You need to click the harvest tool. Yep. And drag around them like you... Oh, I see. So you need to do it via the harvest box selection rather than from an unit frame icon. This will feed. If you need to click the harvest tool... Oh, right. Already read that one. Thank you very much for your stream tonight. Lots of info. I've got mods to work on, so I'm off for the night. Yeah, enjoy it, and looking forward to more of your mods. Let's see. Good night, Moai. Indeed. Would you consider adding relationships with Hearthlings? We have thought about that. Eventually, we decided that the amount of work that would be required to implement that feature with well enough, let's say, would be way more work than it would take to implement features like, say, weather and seasons and other things that we have added since or plan to add at some point. So eventually it did not make the cut for our official plans. It could be modded in, but that specific system, I think, is less about technical limitations, but more about game design. It would take a lot of good design to make relationships interesting and actually add to the gameplay. But thank you for asking. This will feed. No, but it's vegan Hearthling town. I think we do have a vegetarian trait. So yeah, do vegetarians not kill animals? Like in the game, I mean. I don't think that actually affects them. I think they just don't like eating animal products. Not planned modern. It was Kickstarter stretch goal that was met, was it not? It might have been. Unfortunately, there are things that we decided not to go with, even though they were on the Kickstarter, and those same resources ended up being used on other features that were not planned in the Kickstarter. The Twitch thing may take over the world, like making hordes of enemies happen every minute. Yeah, that would all be pretty manual if you want some sort of Twitch integration. You could make a mod where it's like, oh, your viewers vote for a thing, and then you click the button that they selected. It's not great, but it's the easiest way towards something like that. Right, so they have to be planned unless they want an entire page in the Book of Grudges. Unfortunately, some people will not be happy with our choices, and it's something that we have to accept. But I hope you enjoyed the rest of the features that we did add. Pick of Death. A lot of resources popping up. The timing might be hard to decide on for events, I guess. So that's about the Twitch integration stuff. Here's the stretch goal list for anyone curious. Will we see actual rivers with lakes and waterfalls on maps now that water has been improved without getting map mods biomes? I don't think we have rivers planned. You can use the Bruno's Rivers mod, which is awesome. That will add rivers. We do have some water-based landmarks that we will be adding at some point. So we have like a mountain geyser which has a whetstone embedded in it, so you can like use that as sort of a spring to power a waterfall. But I don't think we have much beyond that. Typical Kickstarters that's too successful ends up ruining it. I don't think we're an extremely successful Kickstarter. We got pretty far, but could have gotten better. We could have gotten worse. I think it's about middle of the road. Ray J. AJ, how about a method to train Hearthlings to get better stats? I always remove low stat Hearthlings, kind of annoying. That would be extremely easy to mod in. In fact, there are mods that will just default everyone to have 6 in every attribute, and I think there's a bunch to default even higher to like everyone starts at 12. You can add increase attributes via buffs, so you can design a mod that has a quest or some sort of crafted item that adds to your attribute. The rabbits are kind of dwarfs. Yeah, it's all very the line is not very clear on that. I mean, rabbits do live underground and they are kind of technologically minded, and so they are in a sense dwarfs. And in fact, as we've discussed in one of the streams, because of their short stature and because they tend to hide from people, some actual Hearthlings mistake them for dwarves. With cute little noses. Yes, rabbits are just like cute in a lot of ways. No beards. Yeah. If you watch that stream we had with Luke a while ago, there was an interesting discussion about dwarf beards, which is pretty unlikely to make it into the game, but it was a very interesting direction. Goblins are kind of dwarfs, yep. Don't they have the little connected world sum as well as through the Steam money? I'm not sure what that's referring to. I don't think they did connected word. Yeah, I'm guessing this is some of the Kickstarter goals that were not met. You can have some Hearthlings to a new save. Yes, you can. We do have re-embarkation, which allows you to re-embark with Hearthlings from old towns into new towns. Are you all still doing the questing system through text base, or is that out? I don't know what that's referring to. The quest system is done through what we call the encounter system, which is, if you've ever looked at Shed, we've showcased it, Shed being the Stonehearth editor, we've showcased it a few streams ago. It has an editor for the quest lines, and it's technically all JSON text, but that editor has like autocomplete and suggestions, and it shows you a visual graph of how your different quest nodes are connected and stuff. Also, what happened to Richard? Richard moved on to a different project. Eaten by a group, kind of. It didn't have a lantern. Almost caught up. Yep, quick, another message. Nope, I made it. Don't let him reach the bottom. Nope, I did. Okay, let's see. Now I can do some work in the like 7 minutes that remain for me. And of course, Sublime Text is not even responding. Okay, let's see. Weather sunny. Right, so I will add a new type of weather, which is weather sunny desert. Oh, that's the subject. I don't want a new subject. I want the actual weather. So that would be sunny desert, and the only difference between the regular sunny and the desert sunny weather is it's going to point to a different ambient audio. You will never catch us. I did catch you guys. Never. There's even more text coming up. Don't trust the piece. Well, I'm getting close. Reembarking. Could it be possible to make the reembarking item instead of it just going off and I'm having to ignore it every month? I make a wagon, pick 3 hearts and some items. Let's say reembark. Oh, you mean like set up the reembark but don't actually trigger it? I don't think we want that. I mean, a month is a very long time in Stonehearth, so clicking ignore once a month I think is an acceptable level of annoyance. What makes it so he has to chat for 6 hours? I don't think that anything will make me chat for 6 hours. Approximately how many biomes will there end up being on release? 2.5. So the existing 2 and Glacier hopefully in some form. We do not plan to add more biomes, partly because modders have done really great job on adding new biomes. So I think our resources are better used on things that it's harder for modders to add. Special leveling legendary items would also be a great feature. We do have legendary items from the town tiers, but not a leveling system for the items. A leveling system for Hearthlings, I mean, they do already level in their jobs. What happened to that canyon? Was that a mod? Yes, the canyon was a mod by Bruno Supremo. And so is the archipelago, and there is a lot of mods if you go to the workshop. Mod packs. I don't think we have plans to collect community mods in packs right now, but it's certainly something that someone else might be able to do. There are some questions about you would need to get permission from all the mod authors, obviously, or a direction that I've always enjoyed, but that's not something that we have been encouraging, is to use licenses with mods. So when you create a mod and upload it, you tag it with a license, say, okay, this is a BSD license, or this is a GPL license, or this is an MIT license, which are well-known sets of rules about how things can be reused that are very common in the open source world, and that makes collaboration and remixing of existing mods and reusing stuff a lot smoother than having to ask the person every time you want to collaborate. Dracula, if you add mod ideas to the game, will you guys refer to the modders by thanking them, or maybe even add something in their regards as some kind of trophy? I don't think we have any plans to what they call vanillize mods. But if we ever do, we certainly will give proper credit. There was a talk about giving slight exploration on the map through text-based questing, i.e. like Solari's game. When exploring, you say you find a cave and gives you the text about it and choices. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I'm gonna read the rest of it. Can get when doing it, then you gain an item, especially for who you sent, or as a fight is what I mean. The Rabbit campaign has a little bit of, oh, we need some help, send us one of your Heartlings, and they have to have a specific job or level or whatnot. And then they come back and there is some narrative around that, and they give you some rewards, be it recipes or items or whatnot. But beyond that, we haven't really thought recently about text-based quests. The Sulfite, I just like the idea that when you've played the hell out of the base game, you can download a single mod pack for a massive breath of fresh air. Yeah, that works really well for some games like Minecraft. It's too early to say though. Ali is working on special features. I'm not sure which ones you're referring to. Neat places to... Oh, the landmarks, yes. Those are not really connected to quests, at least right now they aren't. Those are more visual interest and maybe some sort of light narrative background. I just got a town with 900 edible but no food to eat. Some were starving. Is it a bug? It's hard to tell. Upload a save on Discourse and we will take a look. You could connect them to quests. Yeah, we could. We could do many things, but we have a limited amount of resources and time and choices that we can make. And it seems unlikely that quests connected to landmarks are a thing that we're gonna attempt, at least at anything beyond a very light touch. Can we have Easter eggs for the modders, like random stuff will happen that it will not again if you do stuff again? Yes, but if we say anything about the Easter eggs that we have, they will stop being Easter eggs. So we do have a few Easter eggs already, and I know at least one that someone on the team wants to add in the future. I would like to have kind of enemy waves that get stronger over playtime. Currently, the enemy waves do get stronger as you continue, and if you use the Glory Hearth, you have a button that summons stronger and stronger monsters, and I think it goes on for like 500 levels. they're remixes of the same group, but they will grow over time. Celestra, nobody ever found the bunny statue one. I think has been some talk about the bunny statue one, but I don't want to spoil things. Let's see. What's the maximum number of Hearthlings? What will it be at launch? Currently, the default maximum is 20, and the game should run pretty well with 20. You can raise it up to 50 through the options, and we don't have any performance guarantees. We hope to get at least 40%